Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the Unspoken Truth. This is where we take you behind the scenes of building, developing, and scaling your coaching business in a way that actually works. I'm Jay, your systems and strategy queen. And this is my sister in business, Miss Kyna B. Mrs. Kyna B. I keep saying Miss. I don't know why, but Mrs. Kyna B. She's your leadership and mindset coach. And together we help coaches grow like CEOs and not like hustlers. So everything that we deliver here is going to be real solutions, real strategies. And in every episode, we're going to always give you the unfiltered truth. It's always going to be the truth, especially how we see it. So, hey, Kyna, how are you doing today?
I am great. Can't complain, won't complain.
Look, you can always complain.
Who's listening though?
I'll listen. I tell people, look, I'll listen. But God is the only one who invites you to complain and is willing to listen too. But today we have a great episode because we're going to be talking about reinvention and refinement. Does your business really need to be reinvented, or does it just need to be refined? And the reason why we came across this topic is because, especially during several times in a year, you have coaches who feel like their business is stagnant, it's not really moving the way they want to move, or they didn't reach their goals, so they feel like they need to do this huge overhaul in their business and redo their branding, redo their offer. I mean, it's like night and day how they set up their business. But do you really need to do all of that? Is that really necessary? What do you think about this topic,
I
Kyna?
remember I used to actually work with a coach, and you probably can Google her because she that was her thing before reinvention was a thing. But she was the reinvention coach, and I remember saying, and I was so much a rookie. But I remember saying, like, hold up, how many times, I mean, how many clients are you going to be able to keep? Because are people going to come back? Because if I reinvent myself, am I coming back to her? What's the likelihood of her having returning clients? And I think I worked with her. It wasn't long because she reminded me too much of um, a past client who just did me so wrong. So, but I would ask, I'm like, I don't understand. How can you, seemingly expect to have clients over and over again come to you because they're trying to reinvent themselves? And her comment to me was, no, they don't come back, but I expect them to refer others to her. And she actually ended up doing more corporate work than not, which in my mind kind of proved my point. because because literally reinvention says that you've been, like, what you have been doing is not necessarily in alignment with where you are now. And it's time to change. It's time to change, your messaging. It's time to change what you look like. Maybe it's time to change your team. It's time to change a lot of different things. And I don't know if people want that smoke.
Right? Right?
So in some cases, you do need to reinvent yourself. Like Jay, I'm struggling over here to try to figure out because Jay is well versed in all things entertainment. Well, I shouldn't say all things entertainment, but when it comes to R&B and hip hop, I'm just trying to think of who reinvented themselves. Like who started out in one lane and then ended up in another. Like total, like Snoop is a good example. He's reinvented himself a couple times.
Right.
Because I don't know if y'all remember reggae Snoop.
Oh, do you have the Dog Father? Whenever he was with, like, I think that's when he was with Master P and No Limit.
Yes,
It was
yeah,
like the
yeah.
Dog
So,
Father. Yeah. And then there's Snoop with Martha Stewart.
yeah.
All that
First of all, you don't like that one?
It's though I mean it's like okay, so is Snoop refined or is Martha thuggish? I don't understand. It's like
Can
she went to prison and
both
all of a
things be
sudden she a
true?
thug. I don't.
No, well, I'm saying, can both things be true?
I guess I'm a refined thug. That's what I mean. Is that what we doing? I don't know.
But no, seriously, like you think about those situations, and it was, I mean, Beyonce did.
Yeah.
If I mean, if you think about her journey, she reinvented herself. So, so when we're talking about this, it's like, to our question, is it really reinvention or not? Because sometimes I feel like it's not reinvention. You don't have to, what is that, revamp everything. It's
Right.
refining. It's saying, how can we make this better? We talked about this a couple episodes. How can you make what you've done better?
Right. I think when people talk about reinvention, it's a makeover. It's I'm no longer that person. Um, Now that would that would fit if, let's say, throughout your course as a coach, you've gone from being a coach who focuses on, let's say, organization, right? And through that, you start working with clients who have ADHD. You might have to rebrand yourself
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because what was going on with organization. Now, there's a way that that all connects, but that's a whole different marketing, whole different type of feel. You're fine tuning, yes, but your brand may simply just change. Or I just looked up my VA that I had in 2016 because I was just cleaning out some things, and I was like, well, I'm curious, is she still a VA? And I looked her up, and now she's a stay at home uh, naturalist.
What is that?
No, it's a no. She's a homeschool. That's what I want to say. A homeschool naturalist. So she teaches children through the homeschool program, and she uses nature to teach.
Okay. Oh, that's reinvention.
That is not the VA. But she has her VA business on the side, but her main focus is this homeschooling naturalist type
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not refinement, that's reinvention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um Now I'm going to put on my coaching hat for just a second. Now you all know that I try to stay in my lane as a consultant and a strategist. But every once and again, I dip my toe into the coaching realm. And here's my thing. As a coach, it's not about reinvention. Reinvention is often just a societal way of accepting a form of avoidance.
Mm, mm,
You're avoiding pushing through,
mm-hmm,
getting
mm.
clarity. You're like, okay, I need to drop this and I need to start over. I need to erase and rewrite my whole sentence as opposed to, maybe taking a red pen and scratching this out and adding this in and okay, maybe find another word, pull out the thesaurus and find a synonym or anonym for this. Instead of doing that work, you're just going to erase or rip the page out of the notebook and start over. And that's a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the coaching industry, they have taught a lot of coaches that if something doesn't work in 30 days, then it's broken. So you need to fix it. You need to drop it and try something else. That's not necessarily the case. You need to refine what you have. It takes more than 30 days for you to know if your offer is working or not. It's going to take a lot of refinement. A lot of coaches, whenever they stick with their offer, they don't see the real turn until after a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone through different iterations. It's been a mastermind. It's been a course. It's been a program. It's to try and find the right combination of things in order for it to stick with your audience. So whenever you're looking at your business, and I'm talking about your business in its totality, your offer, your systems, your team, it's not about, okay, well, this person isn't working, this thing isn't working, so let me get rid of it. It's about how to stay with it. Now, I would say new feels sexy
Hmm.
because it allows you to avoid accountability. But if you're going to refine, that demands that you be honest with yourself. That
Mm-hmm.
you stick with something, you push through something and not give up. Giving up is easy. Enduring, being patient, that's hard. So that's my coaching take on why people feel the need to reinvent and why they obsess over the new as opposed to something being optimized.
Yep.
What do
Yep.
you think about that, Kyna?
I mean, I agree with you because so Jay, it's
Yeah.
fun, isn't it, to come up with colors and fonts and
Oh, yes, it is.
and
Oh,
I'm
Canva is my buddy in the sandbox.
yeah when yes when you're creating something new, it's just this energy that comes through you that you're just like you see what you're trying to build everywhere, and you come up with all the ideas.
Mhm.
But when you already have something in place and you gotta, you know what it, when you already have something in place and you have to say, okay, is this working? It's not working the way that I envisioned. What do I want to fix it or do I want to create something else?
Mhm.
Most people jump ship and create something else
Yeah.
because to do the analyzing, the audits, the things that are necessary for us to optimize or fix what we built, it's kind of boring. Like when we think about a lot of the stuff that coaches and consultants do, it can be repetitive.
Mhm.
And so in some cases you're like, you know what? Let me just go play with Canva. Let me go
Mhm.
create a new logo. Let me go um, see if I could. People even start loving the research involved in the new thing that they're creating. And I have to say this, that same energy could be applied to you refining what you already have. If you think about if you think about it, your life would be a little bit easier if you applied that same energy to what you already have because you're not starting over. You're not reinventing anything. It's okay. You know what? I don't like the way these colors look. We're gonna keep this, but we're gonna take this. I mean, Jay and I were talking offline before we got on, and our logo, which thank you, Jay. Like all the stuff that y'all are seeing, this is Jay. The Jay, like the logos and the colors and the fonts, that's all Jay. And I seen that the logo went from what was it, gold or something like that. Now it's white. Jay, it could have also been where Jay said, "You know what, Keena, I want another font. We need another icon. Let me find another icon. Let me just scrap what we already have." She said, "No, just make what we have white instead of starting from scratch." But there are too many people that would have said, "No, we're going to start over." Period. And and yet it gets people stuck. It gets people in that level of I'm going to avoid what I need to do to fix what I already have.
Right. You know, I just posted in uh, what is it on Instagram a video that from an interview that Michael Jordan had,
Yes.
and the question was, he was talking about putting in the work, and he said, so the journalist was asking him, well, you know, now there's a lot of players who are into the branding thing, and you know, one wear this logo and that logo, and he said, yeah, I see that, and they shouldn't go that route. And he says, well, why not? I mean, you are a brand. I mean, you got Jordans, your partnership with Nike. I mean, the Chicago Bulls will always, I don't care if uh, uh, Jordan played on the Lakers or the Golden State Warriors, he will always be synonymous with the Bulls. Always. And he said, so he said, how can you say that whenever it's your brand? He said, but I became a brand because of the work that I did on the
Yep.
court.
Yep.
It was my work that led me to the brand. And he said, if what I did on the court didn't work, then my brand wouldn't be there. And he said, and my brand never got in the way with the work that I did on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So, to you as coaches, your brand can't stand in the way of who you are as a CEO, as a coach. The colors, it don't matter. I mean, they do, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prioritize what is important. What's important is your connection to your audience, you being clear on your messaging, you being able to package your transformation in a way that your audience understands it, that your audience can see themselves in it. Those things, that work is essential to your business being able to build, strengthen, grow, scale. The branding stuff, the reinvention stuff, that can come later.
Mm-hmm.
That can always be refined. This you need to work on, and that takes a priority. So while the logos and the colors and the website, all of that stuff is nice and cute, and uh, it has a position in your business, it is not the most important thing. And
Yep.
your brand, to be honest with you, is you. You are the brand. How you show up, how you coach, your voice, how you interact with your audience. That's the brand. It's not
Hmm.
so much all the bells and whistles that go on. Those things are nice, those things are cute, they can be invested into later on once you have a consistent flow of clients.
Hmm.
But you can't get there. I mean, if you have you ever seen somebody who's like all cute, but they don't have any substance?
Open
It's
up
like,
IG.
it's kind of like the saying, it's keep your mouth closed because fools, when they open their mouths, they remove all doubt. So it's like you don't want to be the one that's all cute. You got the this and the that and the this and the that, and it's all cute and popping. And then whenever your audience comes to you and you attract them by the glitz, and they're like, "Child, she don't know what she talking about.
Mm-mm.
She don't have nothing together. She's sending me Google Docs, but want me to pay $5,000 for a coaching program. She's sitting up here, she wants me to do $10,000 for 3 one-on-one coaching
Mhm.
sessions, and she want me to jump on. She sends me a regular Zoom link. Not
Like,
saying
what's
there's a
going
problem
on?
with Zoom, but I mean, a regular Zoom link, like to through a Gmail. I mean, really? Is that what we doing? Is that what we doing? I know y'all sitting up there saying, "Is there a problem with Zoom?" No, but
No.
going back to how you package the service that you're delivering, that $10,000 for 3 sessions, and you sending me a Zoom invite directly through Zoom or through a Gmail, where is coach provides transformation at gmail.com. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you $10,000. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you just gotta, prioritize what's important. Is it
Mm.
the the glitz and the glam and all that, or is it what you package? So, let me ask you this: so, how can a person assess what's actually working?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, number one, if you're not already tracking the things that you're doing, so as you're going through your plan, like the planning stage is should include your ability or something happening where you're able to track what you're doing to get leads, as an example, what you're doing to get leads, what results are you expecting, and what did we talk about last week?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That debrief that happens at the end, so that you can say, okay, what went well, what didn't go well, and what are we gonna do to fix it? If you have that stuff already mapped out, then you'll quickly be able to say, okay, so we didn't hit our number, or um, we didn't convert when we did our discovery calls. What were the conversations? Did we ask the right questions? Did we have the right people on the call? Are there questions that we need to ask? So you should have things in place as you're going through your day to day, your launch, or whatever it is that you're looking to assess. You should have checkpoints in place already for you to be able to say, this is working, this is not working. It shouldn't be a year in and you're doing the same thing over and over again in that whole year, and you get to December and you're like, none of this stuff worked. Well, you should have been knew that.
Right.
The other thing that is like the obvious is feedback from your client.
Mm-hmm.
Your client is going to tell you, in some way, shape, or form, that what you're doing with them is working or it's not. And if they're not telling you, then that's also a problem. But there's ways for you to figure out that is whether it's working or not if they're not telling you. How is that? What results are they supposed to get by applying what you're teaching them? So, so assessing happens throughout the time that you are working with your clients, throughout the time that you are doing your launch. It shouldn't be a thing that you are now like, I'm running out of money. Now I need to figure out, are we going to do this again or we got to do something else?
I totally agree with you. I'm all for, I'm going to call it A&A, analytics and audits. Because to me, data doesn't lie. You can always rely on data. It
Yep.
is what it is. And, but I tell you what does lie. Your feelings do. Your feelings lie to you all the time because you'll say okay, for example, I had this client and she was crushing the leads game. I mean, she made in 2 months, 2 months, she had grown her list more than what she had grown her list in 3 years. In 2 months, let me say that again. She had grown her list more than what she did in 3 years prior to. But you know what she said to me? She said, but Jay, I don't see any movement. I feel like we're stuck. I feel like we're not doing anything. And I'm like, in just these past 2 months, you had to upgrade your email marketing platform twice because you had grown your list so much so fast with quality leads, leads that we can actually put within a profile of her ideal client. And she said, yeah, but I'm not feeling like anybody, my voice is being heard. I'm not feeling like anyone is interested in my offer. Her open rate doubled, her click rate tripled. It was like, what do you mean? You just haven't given it enough time for these
Yep.
people who don't know you
Yep.
to go through the build, strengthen, the know, like, and trust factor with you so that they can buy into your offer. You haven't even given it enough time for them to go through the whole funnel of now getting your retargeting ads. You haven't even gone through that yet. And you're still like, I'm not seeing any movement. So I think we need to, guess what? Not refine. We need to reinvent everything. We need to get a new offer. We need to. Then once I went over the figures with her, she was like, oh, oh, okay. Now, has she talked to me about that list since then? Ever since? Nope.
No.
Nope. Because she allowed her emotions to run her business decisions instead of the data. The data and the analytics did not tell her what she needed to focus on. So, whenever you allow your emotions to dictate your business, you'll be in that reinvention cycle all the time, every time. So, instead of looking for moments, in your business, look for patterns. A slow week or even a slow month doesn't mean that your funnel is broken. It doesn't mean that, okay, now you need to scrap that whole audit, or that whole lead, and now you need to create something different. Now, what we did do when we were looking at her, when we were looking at the same client's funnel, I said, okay, we've been doing questionnaires and quizzes as your lead offer for this amount of time. And we haven't gotten anywhere. We haven't pushed the needle with it. Let's try something else. And she didn't like it. And I was like, let's try it. She was like, we're giving away too much. Let's try it. And then we can make a decision based off of that. In 2 months, yes, her audience let her know this is what we wanted. Not that I don't want. Now, did we use quiz? Yes, a quiz was a part of her package. But her audience needed a different type of quiz that let them know something totally different than what her other quizzes were. And we needed to build something around it. That package was something that moved the needle. So, whenever you're doing these assessments or audit, and I know people don't like to use those two A words, it's like, oh my goodness, an audit, an assessment, I'm not really getting anything. No, you're getting data. And that's going to let you know, is it your offer? Is it your messaging? Is it your funnel? Is it the fact that you're inconsistent? Is it clarity? It will let you know what the issue is. And and then you can move upon what those results are. Okay? So let refinement happen because of the evidence and not because of your ego.
Emotion. Yeah, your emotion. And I mean, Jay, I agree with you because, and this is coming from someone who, for lack of better words, leads with my heart. Like, I'm heart centered. Um, but to your point, I can feel like it's not working right now. 5 minutes from now, I'm happy as all get out. Like, oh yes, this is where everything is going well. So emotions change with time, literally. You're upset 1 second, 30 seconds later, you're good. So Jay's right. Don't rely on that feeling you have. Rely on what you're actually seeing. And if you can't do it, then you need to have somebody else that can set aside their emotion and tell you, like, no, listen, you're actually doing pretty well. You're actually doing great. We just need to tweak some things and go from there.
Talking about the tweaks, let's shift to how a coach can better leverage their energy. How can they do like when a car comes on, whenever you start your car, the lights come on. It does a systems check, right? To see it are your I can't think of all the things that it does, but it goes through a system
Your
check because
oil,
all
your,
these lights,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Are your brakes working? Are you low on gas? It goes through a systems check, right? So how can you go through your business and do a systems check and know how to divert your energy to focus on what's important and to identify where you're basically wasting your energy? How can you do that?
Well, first, let's share what systems they should have in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, lead system. So some kind of system that's going to bring people into your business, into your atmosphere. Once they get there, um, And I guess this will all be under the lead system. So I'm calling them systems right now, but everybody calls them something different. Even Jay and I call them something other than lead systems. But anyway, so your lead system is everything that happens in order for you to get um, get potential clients, and then for those potential clients to become clients. So that whole before they become a client is all part of the lead process, the lead system. Your next one is your delivery. So you sold them something. How are you delivering it? That should be a system. Once you deliver, then it's what do we call it? Jay, you have a word for yours
Retention.
where it's retention, but you call it something else too. Um, like brand. How do you create brand ambassadors? But yes, it's your retention system. So how are you retaining your clients? Because I don't know, we don't want to spend thousands of dollars again to get a whole new group of clients. So we need to utilize the clients that we got to get more and maybe even keep them on board.
Brand ambassadors.
Yes. I said I know it was a word. So um and then I said retention. So those are three buckets. Now again, within each one of those systems there are many systems that you would have in place, but those are the three: your leads, your delivery, and your retention. If you don't have those, well, there's your leak right there. If you don't have a lead system, and again, the description is to get the client all the way until they become a client. You don't have something set in place for that, there's your leak. If once you get them, you are doing everything by hand, doing everything manually, you're doing all the stuff to deliver what you promised, that if you don't have that in place and you're doing stuff manual, there's a leak. And if you find yourself years later saying, I worked with somebody in 2021 and we had great results, but I have no testimonial. I don't have updated contact information. Well, another leak. You just found another leak. So there's leaks in every one of those areas that if you were to look and say, okay, what's keeping me up at night? So going back to that old question, what's keeping me up at night? Well, those are probably your leaks. Because if you're worried about converting a client and you've done everything that you needed to do, that's not a that's not something that you should have necessarily on your plate to worry about if you've done all the checkups, if you've done everything, your due diligence, and you're really waiting on a client like that's on you. So ideally, if you're looking at your business from top to bottom, then you know what's not working. You know what you're missing. If you don't know, you've been listening to us for a while now, and I'm going to say a while because I'm going to assume that you've been with us through season one, season two, and now season three. You can talk to us. Like, this is what we're here for. We're here to help you assess. And soon, and very soon, we're going to announce some things that we've been working on for a while now. And I'm gonna say within the last year, because Jay, we've been working on a lot of stuff this year, but we've been working on stuff for years. So our promise to y'all is that you're going to start seeing a lot of the stuff that we've been doing behind the scenes and been working on. That's our promise to y'all. So
Yeah, you're definitely going to see shifts with Kyna and I.
not
Um,
reinvention, not
it's
reinvention.
not reinvention, refinements, refinements, um, and refinements because you grow, right? You're not the same person that you were uh, a year ago, 10 years ago. You're not the same coach that you were when you started your business. You're not the same coach, that you are compared to who you are now, and who you are going to be at the end of 2026 or 2027 or what. You're not going to be that same coach that you are today. You're going to grow and you're going to be refined if you allow yourself to be. But you're not going to be you're no longer going, like, I'm no longer going to be Jay. No, Jay's going to be Jay. She's just going to be a different version of Jay, a more refined version of Jay. Kyna's still going to be Kyna, but she's not the Kyna of last week, last year. That is not the same Kyna. And the Kyna today is not going to be the Kyna that you're going to see next year, 2 years from now, 5 years.
I
So,
promise that.
so it's refinement isn't something to avoid. It's something to embrace. You don't have to go through reinvention. Personally, in business, whatever the case is, you don't have to reinvent yourself. You can always refine yourself. So, with that in mind, I want to go ahead and lead you all through three things that I put together for a refinement framework, and it's really based off of the things that actually Kyna had mentioned. And I want you to look at your business as a room where, okay, the way it's set up right now just doesn't work for you, right? It's not working for you. However, all you have to do is just rearrange some furniture. You don't have to sit up there and tear the whole room down and like rebuild another room. You just need to probably maybe even knock down some walls. You don't have to remove the whole room and then build it from scratch, right? So look at your business this way, and let's look at three parts of this room, okay? So you're delivering, your delivery framework. Are you getting results from your clients? Are they actually, now this is not what they should be getting or what you have promised they would get. What are they actually getting? If that is not aligned with your brand promise, with what you thought, guess what needs to be refined? Either that brand promise, either your expectation, how you coach, that needs to be refined, or you need to look at what's happening in your coaching program. If they're not getting results at all, or if they're not getting the results intended, there's a disconnect somewhere. And I'm gonna be honest, 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with them. It's not their fault.
Say it.
If they're not getting results, it's not their fault. Some coaches will be like, well, they're not showing up, they're not doing all the things. Well, then it still falls at your feet, because guess what? You're not attracting the right ones. Still fall at your feet. Okay, so look at the results they are or are not getting. And then, are you delivering too much or too little? If they're, because they may not be doing the things that are in your coaching program because they're bored. They're not showing up because they're bored at the sessions that you're having, or the group sessions, or your one-on-one. They don't see the value there, or it's too much. It's overwhelming. You're asking them to do too many things to get the transformation that they're desiring. And sometimes coaches throw the kitchen sink into an offer to make it more appealing. And once people come in, they get overwhelmed. That's not what they want, that's not what they need. So look at that. That helps you refine your coaching program. And then, does your delivery model match your current energy and capacity?
Mm.
So people will sit up there and they'll say, "Okay, we have a coaching, a group coaching session every week. Can you deliver on that every week?" If you're constantly having to reschedule, then sis, you can't. So subtract, refine what you're offering, and be honest and transparent about that. I want to give you a, a 5-star experience, and I can't do that by promising that we can meet every week. I can't give you the best of me doing that. I can do it every other week. Be honest. There's a way to say any and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't feel like, okay, they're getting less, because you're able to reserve that energy. You're able to work within a capacity that's deliverable, and something that you can commit to, and something that you can be consistent with, so they can get more of you this way instead of half of you or a portion of you every week. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does, yes, yes, because some people, again, don't realize what season they're in.
Mm.
And I mean, you said every other week, and I'm like, even that sounds exhausting, like exhausting to me right now. So, and the reason I say that is because what I know I deliver, how I show up, how I am invested in each of those conversations. So if you're telling me that I'm gonna have to see you twice in a month, whew, and multiply that by however many clients you have, come on now. Come
Mm-hmm.
on. And I'm not saying, we're not here for the hard work, because we are here for the hard work, but we also need to be realistic. Like, seriously, stop. And I'll be the first one to start the line. I will over commit myself, overextend myself. I know that about me.
Preaching
So
to the choir.
so
Preaching.
you have to be realistic about all of it. Like, if y'all don't hear anything about, if y'all aren't hearing the words that Jay are saying in these podcasts over and over again, honesty is key. Being real is key. If you can't be real outside, you at least need to be real inside, internally. And if you're not real either way, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I do know what to tell you, but that's another podcast. That's another episode, excuse me.
Well, let's get into the second part of the infrastructure, or the framework. So the second part is your messaging. So look at your messaging and see what a part of that needs to be refined. Are you selling the transformation, or are you selling the process? Two totally different things. And if you selling the process, that's more of, if you're scaling and you're looking and you've already proven that your process works, and you're able to sell like franchise it. Like there's certain coaches that have schools because their process works, or they've seen success with their process. So they have coaches that come in and they're trained on this process. Transformation, totally different. Working with me can get you from here to here. So you need to know what you're selling. And the second thing, just 3 questions to ask yourself. So that's the transformation or the process. What are you selling? The second question is, does your messaging reflect who you are today, or who you were when you launched this program or prior to this program. How does that show up? This is how I got here. This is how I became a six-figure coach. Or this is how I found the love of my life after kissing 20 toes. Or whatever the case is. That's who you are today. Who you were prior to, I was someone who was dealing with a whole bunch of daddy issues. I was a person who had low self esteem. I was a procrastinator. I was this. That's who you were. So are you selling that person or are you selling this person? That affects your messaging. And the third question is, are you explaining your true value or are you just assuming what the value is? Two different things, because what you assume it's going to be is not how it actually comes across to your audience. So those are the three questions to look at regarding your messaging that you need to, whenever you're doing these audit and you're trying to refine, look at those three things when it comes to your messaging and see how you can refine it, and then look at what happens after you've done that. Anything about that, Kyna, you wanted to add to it?
No, you hit the nails on the head. I think we hit the nail on the head throughout this whole thing. And so I'm gonna tell a secret. I tell secrets all the time. Jay and I talk didn't talk about this, and somehow, some way, we was on the same page. I love how that works. Like I'm sitting here like making sure Jay didn't put a note somewhere, and I read it, and then I just repeated what she wrote, but I'm like, no, no, no. Because after a while we understand the issues that a lot of our clients have, and of course this is why we're sharing it with you. But I find it so interesting that we're able to come together without, you know, scripting it, because we tried
Mm.
that too. We tried that too, Jay.
And you know what? That's how, number one, you know that we're great sister business partners. Um, it attests to how long we've known each other is too.
That too. That
And
too.
three, it just validates we're two different people, two different types of clients, two different client lists, except for a couple. But our experiences, our thoughts, exactly the same. That's
Yep.
why we give you the unfiltered truth.
Truth.
We tell you the truth as as our experience informs us. So let me go to the third thing. The third thing I want you to take a look at is your infrastructure. Kyna was talking about if you're doing things manually, especially in this age of being able to automate things and AI, and I'm not just talking about chat GPT or Claude, or I'm not talking about any of those.
Gemini and
Because
all
believe
that.
it or not, you've been using AI for a while.
Yeah,
You've
absolutely.
been using AI prior to chat. You just didn't know it. But if you're doing things manually, even now, there's a problem. So you need to look at your infrastructure. Look at if you're still manually doing things. How can you automate? Look at your back end to your front end. Look at it all. Look at your whole client journey. Look at your buyer journey. Make sure that it's clear. Do you have any SOPs? So, standard operating procedures. You do something a certain way every time. Is
Mm-hmm.
it documented? If I was to take a if I was to be like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz and I pull back the curtain to see what am I going to see when I look at your business? And then you have to look at the last thing. Is there any friction or is there a bottleneck or a hold up between people going through your funnel, going through awareness to generating interest to then ultimately leading to conversion? Is there a bottleneck or hold up? Is there traffic? And I'm not talking about traffic that moves swiftly. I'm talking about a traffic jam. Is that anywhere in there? So, take a look at that. Um, do you have anything to add to that element?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, because we don't want to overwhelm them. So of course you can rewind, or I don't know why when I think rewind I think about the old radio like. But anyway,
I was thinking about a VHS tape.
yes. As soon as I said it, I was like, rewind. What in the world? Is there another word for it? Because all you gotta do is scroll back a little bit. So hopefully you've taken some notes and really said, okay, yep, she's just told me what I didn't know that that was a problem, but now I know it's a problem, and um, and we want to help you fix it.
Yeah.
We really want to help you fix it because a lot of these things are things that will get you closer to the bigger issues. And I guess I'm calling it bigger issues that require more time and energy. But these are small. These are things that you can fix like right now.
Mm-hmm.
So fix these so we can get to the next thing because there will be a next thing.
Exactly. We're trying to get you to build, strengthen, grow, and scale. We don't want you to stay hung up in one phase more than necessary. So you are going to have to make the refinement and then move on.
Yep.
But you don't want to fly through these stages because then you're gonna miss a lot trying to fly through these stages, and your business will not be able to be sustainable trying to you're not even trying to crawl before you can walk. You're trying to sit up and run. And it's like, wait a minute, there are steps, there's a process. You have to understand balance. You gotta you there's hand eye coordination. There's a lot that goes into running.
Yeah, well, so you got some work to do, sis.
Yeah. So here, if you have watched or listened to this podcast or this episode, and you're like, "Oh, Jay Kyna, nails on head. How did you see the inside of my business?" Then go ahead, click on the link somewhere in here in the description. Click on the link, schedule a discovery call with us. We'll help you identify where your leak is. We'll help you to identify where you need to concentrate on your business. And we'll also help you map out a process or path to doing it. Okay? So go ahead and click on the link so you can schedule your call with us. We want to thank everyone for coming, not coming, for listening.
One day we'll have an audience, like
Oh
a
my goodness! Can you
humongous
tell? Can
audience.
you tell? It's a long day, but we want
Yes.
to thank you so much for joining us. Here you've heard the truth as we've seen it. You got some work to do. So we want to thank you again for tuning in. You could have been doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend this time with us, and we're forever grateful and thankful. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Unspoken Truth Podcast. You can soon grab some resources. And the links will all be in the description box somewhere where we are. And until next time, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Bye.